Mark chapter 6, verse 45 to 56. Immediately Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to Bethsaida, where he dismissed the crowd. After leaving them, he went up on a mountainside to pray. Later that night, the boat was in the middle of the lake, and he was alone on land. He saw the disciples straining at the oars because the wind was against them. Shortly before dawn, he went out to them, walking on the lake. He was about to pass by, but when they saw him walking on the lake, they thought he was a ghost. They cried out, because they all saw him and were immediately terrified. Immediately he spoke to them and said, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Then he climbed into the boat with them, and the wind died down. They were completely amazed, for they had not understood about the loaves. Their hearts were hardened. When they had crossed over, they landed at Gennesaret and anchored there. As soon as they got out of the boat, people recognized Jesus. They ran throughout the whole region and carried the sick on mats to wherever they heard he was. And wherever he was, into the villages, towns, and countryside, they placed the sick in the marketplace. They begged him to let them touch even the edge of his cloak, and all who touched it were healed.
Hey, Ben.
Yep, Bernie?
I wish that Jesus was my next door neighbour.
You wish that Jesus was your next door neighbour. Why is that, Bernie?
Well, I've been hearing all these things he did. Like yesterday, he made food. And I like food. And if he was my neighbour, I'd go and knock on his door and I'd be like, "Here's some food, make some more." Ha ha ha!
Yeah, I don't think that's kind of what Jesus' thing was about, just making more food.
Oh yeah, I know. And then if I was on my skateboard,
Yep.
and I fell off and broke my leg,
Yep.
I could go to Jesus and he could heal me and I wouldn't have to go to the doctor or the hospital.
Yeah, again, Jesus is powerful and he's stronger than sickness and he's stronger than death and he can make food like we saw yesterday, but I'm pretty sure that's not what Jesus was all about.
What do you mean? Jesus was all about doing cool stuff and becoming famous. We should make a YouTube channel for Jesus's cool stuff.
Well, no, Bernie, Jesus did do some amazing stuff and he did become really famous.
As famous as me?
Well, I think Jesus is probably a lot more famous than you.
Oh,
But Jesus wasn't all about doing cool stuff and becoming famous.
yes he was.
And no, he wasn't. But I think you've kind of misunderstood everything about Jesus.
No, I didn't. I'd never misunderstand. You are wrong, Ben, and you're mean to me.
No, Bernie, I'm not being mean to you. See, you've misunderstood a little bit about Jesus, but some of Jesus' friends, his own 12 disciples, misunderstood a bit about Jesus.
What do you mean?
Well, you know yesterday how we saw Jesus fed all those people?
Yeah, 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Oh man, that was amazing. Oh.
That's right, Jesus fed all those people with just 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Well, after that, he said to his disciples, "I want you to get into the boat and cross the lake, and I'll come and join you on the other side of the lake." And then he told the people, "All right, you've had your food, time to go home."
Oh yeah.
And then Jesus went and he prayed on the mountainside overnight as his disciples were crossing the lake on the boat. And it was pretty tough because the wind was against him.
Oh yeah. And then what happened?
Well, near dawn, at the end of the night, Jesus got up and he started walking across the lake.
You can't do that.
What do you mean?
I tried to walk on the water.
Yep. What happened?
I sunk and I nearly drowned. You can't walk on water.
Yeah, I know. But see, Jesus got up and was walking across the lake.
Hey Ben,
Yep.
are you listening to me?
I am listening to you.
But you said Jesus walked on the lake. Oh, did he make a bridge?
No, there's no bridge. Jesus was walking on the lake.
But he can't walk on water.
Well, you can't walk on water.
I know. Can you walk on water?
No, I can't walk on water.
I know. Then how did Jesus walk on water?
Well, remember, Jesus has God's power and Jesus is God, so he can do things that no one else can do.
Oh man, I wish Jesus was my neighbour. He could teach me that trick too. Then I'd be really, really famous and everyone would make me rich.
No. See, that's not what Jesus was about. See, Jesus was walking on the water and his disciples saw him and they thought he was a ghost and they freaked out.
Oh no, it's a ghost. Ah!
That's right, they were freaking out. And then Jesus said, "Don't freak out, it's me."
Oh man, then what happened?
Then Jesus got onto the boat.
But he was walking on the water.
He was, but he stopped and got on the boat. And then his disciples were completely confused.
Yeah, me too.
See, they didn't quite understand that Jesus wasn't just about doing amazing things, but Jesus is God. So Jesus can do all these amazing things. And Jesus wants us to know how we can be friends with God.
Oh man, so you're telling me Jesus isn't about doing cool things and becoming famous?
No. Jesus isn't about doing cool things and becoming really famous. Jesus is all about how we can be part of God's forever family if we trust in Jesus. Because Jesus is God come as a human on earth to bring us back into his family.
I'm not sure about that. I think I need to think about that a little bit more.
Okay, maybe you do need to think about that a little bit more. But I'm going to tell it again really slowly. Jesus is not about doing cool things to becoming famous.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure. Jesus is all about showing us how we can be part of God's forever family by trusting in him, because Jesus is God, come to earth as a human to bring us into his family. I'm going to pray and thank him for that. Dear God, thank you so much for Jesus. Thank you that he has your power because he is God. Thank you that Jesus came to earth as a human so that he could bring us back into your family. Help us to understand what Jesus is really about and help us put our trust in him. Amen.
Amen. Hey Ben,
Yep.
I'm going to go to the pool now.
You're going to go to the pool. Bernie, it's like almost winter. It's cold. Why are you going to the pool?
Well, I'm going to try that new trick Jesus did.
The new trick Jesus did?
Yeah, walking on the water. Then I'll be famous.
Bernie, I don't think you're really listening to me, but you can go to the pool and I'll let you get really wet. But right now we've got to go. So we'll catch you around tomorrow.
See ya!